Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Isaac again with Elias and Whip Company. Got another stream replay for you guys. Did another stream on Instagram with Torrance from Sword Guide Builds. I'm gonna cut this one into two parts. I'll do first one comes out today, next one will be in a few more days. It takes a bit for editing. And stay tuned till the end of this video with a special announcement. Hope you guys enjoy. See you in a minute. All right, everybody, welcome to the live stream. Be joined here by Tory in just a few minutes, and then we're gonna do another little whip talk for you guys. So I'll give him a minute here, and he should pop in. Today I'm kind of just working on some crackers. Might make a fall a little later in the stream, but we'll see what's going on. Hey Mason, how's it going? Here comes Tory. There's Tory.
Good morning, friends. How is everyone?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine. Give me a minute here to get my things set up. Everything is terrible.
It's going well, man. It's going well. Mason's back on.
Shoot. Gimme. Okay. One day, this will not be an impossible struggle for me. Go. There we go. Everything is terrible forever. I might need you to like tell me stuff that people. Okay, there we go. That's fair. There we go. Okay. I'm just trying to find like a position where I'm like on camera, but also can work.
Yeah.
I've got this. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if I actually finished saying my words. I might need you to like tell me what people are saying if I need to respond to something, because I can't see the screen.
The chat. Mason's giving you a hard time about your 5 head.
About my what?
Your 5 head.
Oh.
Because I think we decided the last stream that you had the bigger forehead.
Man, I thought I was safe wearing the hat today, but you got a steel tongue, Mason.
Perez Brooka just joined us. How's it going?
Let's see here. So, first conversation topic that I wanted to hit. How do you find yourself holding your work? Do you hold by the belly with your thumb like over the middle of the strands, the intersections, or do you hold by the strands?
I usually hold by the strands, and then I'll usually, whichever hand I'm working with, might pinch the center with the thumb, and then I'll come around with the. So if I'm working the strand on this side, going under, I'll reach under with this hand through, and then bring it, pull it, and bring it over.
I getcha. Yeah, I was just watching an old video of myself, and I was realizing that yeah, my breathing posture has changed a lot. Like, jeez. Yeah, I used to used to hold by the strands like out to the side. But yeah, I don't know. I think it. I think it kept my stuff like looser than it should have been. So I had to sort of. Well, I don't know. Paul taught me a few different braiding postures that I sort of go between now, and I don't know. They've all got their place, you know. But it's like each of them is best for exerting a certain type of tension.
Right. Like if I'm, I know like if I'm doing like a diamond plat or something like really heavy on the handle, then everything's a lot different than like if I'm just plaiting a regular herringbone.
Okay, that brings up sort of an interesting question. So I feel like there are, let's say exclusively with nylon whips, because leather, you kind of do need everything to be super tight. But for nylon, I would say that there are kind of two schools of thought regarding tension on the handle versus tension on the thong. I've heard some people argue, oh yeah, the handle has to be very tight, so that it doesn't twist. But the thong should be loose so that it's flexible. And I'm more of the persuasion that the handle can afford to be loose, and the thong has to be tight, just because that's where you get your smooth coil and transitional strength from. But like, yeah, what do you think?
Now I guess it also, would that be on a waxed whip or a unwaxed whip? Because like if it's a whip that's going to be waxed, I'm going to plait it much looser all around.
Really? Okay.
And then let the wax kind of stiffen things up. Then if it's an unwaxed whip, and I'll plait a lot tighter down the whole whip then, because I don't want anything to come loose after a little bit of play like I had with my first couple whips I made.
For sure. Yeah, it's really frustrating sometimes with an unwaxed whip, just because. Okay, like for example, my one of my contest entries from last year, the one that I was like even more proud of than the one that I actually placed. Like I don't know, it didn't place because the handle was twisting,
Yeah.
But I was like, well, how can that be? I braid everything very tightly, but it's like I'm almost convinced that at least if you're working with like a still smooth like steel dowel for your handle, right now I'm kind of convinced that you can't really prevent twisting of it. Like maybe if you like bound your braiding on the handle really tightly, maybe that would keep it from twisting. But yeah, I'm not convinced. So it's like, yeah, you're right that there's a difference in that sense, depending on whether you're waxing or not. But I don't know. It's nylon whip makers are sort of, we're in a weird spot because to a certain extent waxing gives you license to do like so much that you can't really get away with otherwise.
Yeah, true.
But at the same time, you do still need to know your stuff so that it isn't just waxed garbage.
Right.
So it becomes a question of like, how much credit does the person deserve for like for having a handle that doesn't twist, versus how much credit do they deserve for having a thong with like excellent transitional rigidity, or like for having smooth braiding, stuff like that. Just,
Right.
it's nuanced, but it's also like, I don't know. Nylon whips are definitely easier than leather, but it's like I don't know. I don't know. It's all very gray.
Yeah. But to I guess go back and answer your question. Most of the time, I will plait I'll plait the handle fairly stiff and give it a nice tight pull all the way through, and then start easing off tension after the transition. Like I'll give it a good maybe 3 to 6 inches depending on the length of the whip.
Okay.
After the transition, where it stays decently tight, and then drop it off.
Gotcha. Yeah, what I find myself doing lately is my handle braiding gets like tight, but not as tight as I can get it, and then the transition zone is like balls to the wall, just as tight as I can get it. And yeah, I'll do that for I would say maybe 4 inches or so usually.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, like I'll just gradually start easing off. To the point, of course, where like by the end of the braiding, there's almost no tension in the strands.
Right.
I feel like I talk about this a lot, so like if I mentioned it on the last one, like feel free to stop me. But it's also something that I think is important to understand. Also, is like when you do that, when you start tight in the thong specifically, when you start tight and then like ease off over time, over the length,
Mm-hmm.
So braiding tightly compresses all the braiding against itself, right? That means that if you're braiding more loosely, your braid is going to be fatter. So if you're easing off over the length of the whip, you're essentially also slowing the taper.
That is very true.
And I feel like that becomes especially important for very short whips, like when I do a 4-foot.
Oh yeah.
My belly is basically braided like very, very well, very loose, but much looser than it would be if it were like a full length whip. But then the overlay, I have to make sure that it really stays loose for let's say half of it, and then like real quickly gets very tight so that it still has that transitional rigidity, but also still has like the rollout,
Yeah. And then just to check a couple comments here. POV operator Mason, he says dip the handle in super glue. Alyssa Foxing Around says hot water bath, which I've never tried. I've heard some things about that. And then Christian's giving me a hard time about your beanie.
Go on.
Or just the last thing was Christian was giving you a hard time about your beanie.
I love this beanie. My friend made me this beanie. Yes, Alyssa, you're right. You can give it a hot water bath. We were talking about that before. Some people are getting really into bathing their whips in water, and it's like, you think you know better than like 200 years of whip making knowledge that, oh yeah, water is actually good for whip. Like, okay, buddy,
Oh, E-tape. You got to use a lot of E-tape.
100%. So that's actually sort of an interesting topic because it's like, okay, it's sort of like the duct tape argument. Just in general, it's like, you hear people talking about, oh yeah, in this installment, they used a lot of structural duct tape, and that's like a joke because duct tape is strong, but you shouldn't be using it for everything. And in that same way, it's like electrical tape has its uses,
Mhm.
but it's abused
Right.
in nylon work by newbies.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're using it for like structure, then that's bad.
Mhm.
But if you're using it, like as a third hand, sometimes then it's like, okay, that's forgivable.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know, and I'm definitely a snub about it. Like I have very hard opinions about electrical tape in nylon whips for myself. But at the same time, I have to go like, it's not that big a deal. Like, let it go.
Huh.
uh, Hey, are you getting weird feedback on your end?
I'm not on my end.
Weird. Uh, anybody in the comments? Let me know if I sound weird. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's not
Yeah,
it's not just
or
me.
Christian was saying Christian, is it just when he talks, or just when I talk, or when both of us talk?
And now we'll wait 20 seconds because
It takes a minute.
yeah.
Thanks to Paul.
I would hate to think that it was me.
Only when Tory talks.
Interesting. Okay. Would you be able to? Would you be able to close me out of the chat and then I'll like try to come back in?
Yeah, we can try that.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'll kick you out, and I'll see you in a minute.
All right.
And we'll just wait for him to join back in while you guys are all hopefully still staying around. We'll try and get this audio bug fixed up, and we'll get back to talking. Here it comes.
Let me think. Okay, so yeah, somebody let me know. Oh shit! No, it's still happening. That sucks.
Is the great Keith Smith and Russell joined in?
Okay, so I'm making the executive decision. Y'all are gonna have to deal with it. it sucks, but it is outside my realm of expertise to diagnose that problem.
Yeah.
Let me think. Okay, so next thing that I wanted to talk about. What direction do you pull your strands while you're braiding?
I'll go down and then down across, so across the belly. So if I got the belly here, pull the strand from here, pull it down, and I'll go down this way.
Oh, I mean, you're saying like you pull it twice?
Or well, I'll move the strand down and then actually wrench on it a little bit.
Okay. I'm trying to get at like, I don't know. After a while, I realized that my braiding, like my one hand would pull like at this angle, and my other hand would pull at this admittedly steeper angle,
Oh.
And I feel like that was not helping my stuff for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to be like really conscious of that now, and I think both hands pull basically the same direction, but I think my left hand still pulls a little steeper than my right.
I guess I don't know. I guess from where I'm sitting, I usually have everything pretty close to me in the vise, so everything stays pretty close to here and here, pull wise.
Uh, how much space do you leave between your hand and the thong? Like what length do you space your hand from where the actual action is? Like, do you pull right? I don't know if you can.
I'll usually have about maybe 6 inches or so before it hits my hand.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get in the habit of getting like right up next to the brain, but to grab it and pull it tight. But yeah, for some reason that's sort of an uphill battle for me. I think I also grabbed somewhere like 6 inches from the braiding.
Yeah. I guess I can kind of see the angles because I try and line up the angle I'm pulling with the angle that um, uh, with the angle I see the herringbone at, which is I'm usually trying to keep it a 90 degree.
Yeah,
So I'll try and pull with that.
I feel like I think that makes a lot of rational sense, and I agree. I feel like it's sort of, I don't know. There's a certain argument to be made for yikes. There's a certain argument to be made for pulling at a more outward angle to ensure a certain level of like crowding between your strands, just to make sure they're covering. You get. I feel like you actually get better tension pulling to the sides also. Paul once described it almost like binding logic. You know, it's like loose spiral that's not ever going to be as tight as binding in like a really narrow spiral. You know.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So it's like we kind of have to apply that same logic to the actual braid.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of interestingly makes leather stuff, like bellies on leather stuff, sort of weird, because it's like if you undersize your belly strands, then you will be forced to pull at a more obtuse angle, and that arguably gives you more like structure, more support to the transition zone. But also, like, I don't know, you have to cut your strands so much longer, and does it affect like the girth of the whip at that point? And especially if your intersections start off really wide and then get longer as they go, will that affect the dynamic of the whip? You know, and it just yeah, a lot of stuff to think about.
And looking back in the comments here, Russ, nice for getting that lacing needle. Hopefully one of these days I'll make a video on how to make on how I do a fall. I know Caliper Whips has a few good videos, and then Nick does too. And then for Christian, hopefully once all this Corona garbage is over, the LA Whip group will start meeting again.
Yeah, that would definitely be nice. I'm gonna put my phone back onto charge. Give me just a sec.
You're good. Russell, what would you like more in a video on falls? Would you want to see more of a taper twisted fall, or just a straight stuffed into itself. Or both.
Oof. Yeah, it's tough.
Standard? You got it.
I just made this whip today for an order off the website, and get to ship this tomorrow, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
To another happy customer?
Hopefully so. Yeah. Have you ever experienced crowding in only one quadrant of your braiding?
Um, no. If I usually have a problem, it's usually gapping. Um,
Oh, okay.
I made a one with some major gaps. I don't have it at the house here, otherwise I'd show it on camera. But it had some major gaps on the underside of where I was braiding and dropping strands.
Sure.
And ever since then, I've been super watchful on making sure nothing's either too overcrowded or too loosely open.
It's tough, and it's like any progress that you make in speed or like pulling tightness is usually counterbalanced by like some negative impact in the braiding angle or the spacing, and it's like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to stay up on all of it all the time. You know, like even just my braiding posture right now. It's like I'm trying to remember to like lock down these strands with my finger, but also pull them toward me a little bit. And when I reach up to grab the strand I need to work, I need to make sure that I'm like scraping it like flat, and then like pulling it at a real like long angle toward myself. Give me just a minute. Hey, what's going on?
Russ, if you want, yeah, I got a couple pieces of spare paracord here. I'll kind of show you the gist on making a fall. So I use these to bind uh, all my crackers together. It's a nice little, but you got a piece of paracord. You want it double the length of whatever your fall is. Got it here really quick. Grab my needles. Depending on the kind of needle you use, if you get like a little bit better quality paracord, like this stuff here is from Paracord Galaxy, it's a lot more tightly woven. So when you go to try and thread it into itself, or put your needle in, the thinner ones will work. These are the ones Nick Schrader recommends. I got him to try them out. But I also have some fatter ones that are meant for 550 paracord, and they won't thread into each other, which was a big struggle when I started working with this stuff. Then I got this piece, which is a piece of cheaper. You can't see it on camera, but the weaving in it's a lot thicker, or a lot more spacey, and the needle goes in no problem. So check check what you're going into. But
I feel like a lot of that stuff is, I don't know, like less about the brand or the supplier and the more about the color.
oh, really? You
Like
think it's color?
a lot of times, yeah, because it's like most of the white that I get is the stiff kind. Let's say most of the blue that I get is the loose, the supple kind. You know, all the black I've ever had was the supple kind.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You could easily be right. It might have to do with the manufacturer or like the lot less than or more than the actual color. But yeah, I don't know.
But I'll finish making this up here real quick. I take the one end, I'll clip it at an angle, and give it a quick fuse. And that one's dead. Oh, my lighters are dead.
Oh no. Here, use mine.
Thanks, man. Um, and with the Nick Schrader needles that he recommends, you gotta cut your paracord at an angle like this to thread it in, because these are more for like a 275 cord, but it takes a little bit of doing. But you can get it in, and it just kind of barely hangs in. Then you double it over, find your center, use my center, and I'm going straight up into it, feed it into itself, and pull it through. And then just watch your knot, make sure it doesn't get too crazy. And then you even it out, and there's your fall. That's basics on how to do it.
Alyssa, I wanted to thank you for that comment. That is highly fascinating, and I trust that you know your stuff on that. That's awesome. No,
And we're
that's
doing
informative. Like, so really, like we're both right. Like, because different manufacturers, it's almost impossible they'll have their stuff set to exactly the same settings, but also if you buy from the same place repeatedly, they're probably not changing the settings per color, so they're all going to come out generally the same. Yeah, that's awesome. That's good information.
It really is.
I guess there's nothing that we can really do to like use that information in an interesting way, but it's fun to know.
Mm-hmm. And I saw we were joined by the wonderful maker Johnny Oglin. Sorry, Johnny, if I'm butchering your last name. I'm trying to get down how to say it.
I'm taking the high road and not trying. Let me think. Okay, so another thing that I think people have like weird hang-ups about is that's awesome. Another thing I think people have weird hang-ups about is braiding patterns in the thong, right? It's like, because it's like the very basic experience would indicate, oh yeah, you can't do that because it changes the tension and you're going to have like kinks and areas of low tension and stuff. But it's like that's true, but when you like practice it and you learn like little rules and stuff, it's like you can do it fine. So it's just really I don't know. I had somebody trying to tell me like, oh, this spot here on in the transition that's different from the surrounding bridge. Is that a mistake? I was like, no, that's what it's supposed to look like. And he was like, oh, I never do that. That causes shifts in the tension. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great. You clearly don't know what you're doing, but like, if you're just braiding tight, it's fine.
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. The really petty part of me, like I just oh, it's in this box. I just made a solid black bull. I posted it like yesterday or the day before.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Thank you very much. And that little like area in the middle of the short herringbone on the transition. Like the petty side of me wanted to write in that post, like, oh yeah, this transition is dedicated to people who think you can't braid patterns in the thong or whatever, you know. And it's like just to be a douche about it. But oh man,
Someone's missing you telling people that they're wrong.
that is my strong suit. God, I love telling people they're wrong. Like who was that? Oh yes, okay, that tracks. That's Jenna. That I think you've met Jenna.
Oh yeah, hey Jenna.
Yeah.
Sorry Jenna, I didn't know your Instagram handle.
Missed hearing me tell people that wrong. Jenna, this one's for you. Oh god. Oh man.
So why don't you, if you got a second, show us what you're working on.
Let's see. It is. There it is. It is this 20-foot. I am roughly 9 feet into it, and this one is going to be for me. Prefer English eyes or traditional hitches? I will answer that for myself presently. Okay, later, Christian.
Bye, Christian. This will be on YouTube later, hopefully, if you want to watch the whole thing.
It's nice that you do that for anybody who likes it but doesn't get to see the whole thing.
Right.
That being said, with the audio problem I'm having, like, I will not be excited to see the finished product.
Well, on my end, it's coming through great, so it should be better, hopefully.
Okay, cool. That'd be good. Let me think. Yeah, so Leah posted video yesterday or the other day cracking the 20-foot that she got from me at the convention, and she said that she was having some trouble honing in on the form to like nail the crack every time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh shoot, well I should just make another 20-foot and like make a quick video talking about like form for cracking very long whips, you know.
Yeah, it's a skill. I know when at the whip convention every year when Adam hosts the 40 or the longest whip competition, where you crack from, I think it's 10, or I think it's like an 8, 10, 20, 30, and 40-foot whips. There's a skill when it comes down to cracking those things, especially when you hit the 30 and the 40-footer.
Yeah, for sure. And it just, and like my problem, like I can throw it and crack it just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to the final rounds and I need to like target with it, then I'm like, okay, I'm outside my wheelhouse here.
Yeah.
So hopefully having this, I'll be able to get a little more practice in. Russell was asking if we do English eyes or pitches. Uh, I don't always do like a real English eye, but I do prefer to make the hitch like as low profile as possible, and an English eye does that very well. I know that Alyssa actually, she just told me that what she's been doing is for the nylon stuff, she'll just continue the braid into a twist into the fall, you know.
Oh yeah.
And that probably feels awesome because you don't have that little concentration of weight right there, you know.
Right.
And actually, now that we're talking about it, I know that Johnny also does braided in falls, Dyneema falls, and I got to use a couple of those at the convention, and I hope I said it then, but if I didn't, Johnny, those feel amazing. Very nice work. I'll be wanting to talk to you about that later on. Also, let me think. Tell your thoughts on English eye versus anything else.
Ever since I started using them, I don't think I've made a bullwhip with a traditional fall hitch since. Even the little scrap snake whips I'm making now, just to get rid of some extra scraps. Because I'm still the guy who doesn't like to throw anything or throw too much away.
That's good to a point.
Yeah, it's good to a point. But I use pretty much. I'll either use a traditional English eye where you start and you braid backwards, or I'll braid down the whip and then I'll do the twist style English eye that I've seen you use a lot.
I do like that one. I'm only now starting to like really experiment with, well, a stupid way to put it. So I use let's say 2 to 3 types of fall hitches. For the economy models, like this economy bullwhip, I hope you can see. There we go. Yeah, so this has a normal fall hitch, and let me think. I'm also doing that for my hybrids now, just because it's faster.
Oh yeah.
And the point is like, oh yeah, they're economy models. Just get them made, get them out the door, get this person happy.
Right.
But then for the signature nylon bullwhip, those basically all have English eyes. For the signature nylon stock whip, those pretty much end in the 2-strand eye. If I have to braid fat to thin, but I'm going to end in a 4-flat, I'll pretty much always do that little braided eye. Johnny, I wouldn't ask you to like type all this out, but I am fascinated to know, like, so obviously the Dyneema is getting braided over something. Do you have like a Latigo fall under that or something, or is it just the kangaroo strands from the overlay? That would be an awesome piece of information to know. But again, totally not going to make you like type all that out. That would be garbage. I would like to just talk to you about it a little later on. Oh man, yeah. All hitches have their place, you know.
Yeah, they do.
And some of them, that place is in the garbage. I mean, mine are all great.
Oh, Tory, you humble man.
I'm not kidding.
I thought you were Tory.
Well, yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm Tory.
That's true.
We make dumb jokes. That's a dumb joke.
That's right up there with a lot of dad jokes.
Oh man.
Tori, do you
Uh,
have boots in with Western Stage Prop?
Say it again.
Do you have whips in stock with Western Stage Props?
Oh, yes. They are this kind, the economy now in bullwhip. Uh, so basically, the selling point is uh, if you want to buy something just like in stock, you can kind of count on stage props having some of it like in stock.
Hmm.
I don't always have these in stock, but then again, the wait time for the economy model that's going to be negligible anyway, just because I'm very good at making them. But
Right.
so yeah, it's just like if you have a stage props gift card or something like that, then that might be a good argument for buying through them instead of through me. Or sometimes I'm sure time constraints might might dictate that.
Okay.
But
Um,
yeah, it doesn't hurt to the stuff branched out.
uh,
That helps everybody.
Pumpkin spice dry. Let me go grab some headphones and we'll try that out. I'll be right back.
Oh, let me think. It, Alyssa, yeah, like you know me. Let me think. Jenna, it sounds like you're talking about the feedback issue that I'm experiencing, but are you hearing it when Isaac talks? It worked fine last time, I think. I don't know what's going on this time.
Okay, hopefully, can you guys hear? Hopefully that'll cure the audio feedback problem. Let me know if it does. And Tori, can you still hear me okay?
Yes, yeah, I can.
Good.
Shoot.
That
Uh,
makes sense.
okay. So does that mean did the shoot that did work?
Huh.
Dude, that's crazy.
All right. Well, we got that figured out.
See, this is why we keep Jenna around. Not
Yeah,
just because she's tons of fun and very sweet, but because she knows her stuff.
she knows her stuff.
Oh man. Uh, Man, the last 20 foot that I made was that like patterned one. Uh,
Hmm.
which is lost in the mail right now, by the way. Uh,
Oh shoot! Really?
yeah, it sucks. It's not great. Um, it'll probably be fine. Worst case scenario, I think it's going to come back to me, and I'll just have to ship it again. Still
Hmm.
very frustrated. But yeah, this one is just it's still two tone, but it's chevrons instead of like patterned. You know.
Oh, that'll look cool going for a
I,
20-footer.
yeah, I was thinking like contrast. There's a dark blue in it, so that if I'm against like the light sky, it'll still
Hmm.
show up. But there's white in it, so that if I'm against like dark tree line or whatever, it'll still show up. And I think that hopefully the logic there is sound.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I've been using a lot of like for the economy whips, the hybrids and the economy bull whips. I've been using just untapered, just plain cuts of paracord without taking the filler strands out,
Right.
uh, and that seems to be working, pretty well. Uh, and I'm going to be doing that for the cow whips also, using that same like kind of 3 strand uh, fall hitch and that type of fall.
Hmm.
And I think just it's so interesting that a tapered fall feels great,
Hmm.
but I mean, with certain things in place, certain variables in place, even an untapered fall can feel very good, you know? And it's like, I don't know. I maintain that whip making is like 90% just magic, you know? Like, hey, I'm going to try this and hope it works. Hey, that actually worked out really nice, you know?
Now, what did I do?
Yeah. And like, it's funny because Alyssa will know what I'm talking about, but she told me that somebody told her like something like, "Oh, whip making isn't that complicated. If it cracks, that's good," you know. And it's like that's true, but are you going to use that as an excuse to like not further your engineering, to not like develop your skill further? You know, and it's like
Hmm.
I feel like the reason we get people who think stuff like that is because stuff like the fall. It's like, yeah, it's the finishing touch. It's an admittedly small part of the whip,
Hmm.
and just the fact that lots of different things will work gives people the impression that lots of things will work for all parts of the whip. And it's like, that's true, but it's also not. Like, it doesn't exempt you from like trying to learn to make your stuff better. It's like we should all be striving to uh, make our whips just loud, obviously, blah blah, and very durable, and just feel luxurious. You know, it's like you
Hmm.
feel like Johnny's whips, or Blake Gorey, his whips. It's like you crack them,
Hmm.
and it's like they just dissipate into the air as the motion goes.
Right.
It's like, oh my god, that's very very nice. You know, and we should all be trying to hit that sort of. We should all be trying to hit that mark.
Yeah.
But that won't happen when so many people are still like, it cracks. It's satisfying to me. And I'm like, yeah, but people like you shouldn't be like telling people how to make their stuff better because you're whatever, whatever.
Hmm. Um, uh, Johnny was commenting on he wants to hear us talk about knot shapes before he goes to bed.
Okay. Uh, it's like noon, man. Why you go? I know the time difference. Uh, Not shapes. That was actually
Uh,
something that I was very interested that you would put so much thought into, Johnny, because I'll admit the actual shape of the knot is not something that I really considered a whole lot. It was just like get it to the right size, right being like comfortable, get it to a comfortable size, and then get it to
mhm.
a comfortable roundness, you know. And I've done both of these things to within my range of satisfaction. But you're right that the shape, man, I don't know. I remember in your video, you were talking about how it's like you favor different shapes of knots for different types of whips, and that's fascinating to me. I had never respected a corollary between those aspects. Uh, I know that I know that a lot of people in that same video, I think, Johnny, you were complaining about a lot of nylon makers having like really long square heel knots, and I share that frustration. And honestly, I think it's because Nick, in his videos, he tells people like, "Oh yeah, uh, just get some like 9 ounce cowhide and just cut a strip of it, wrap it around there. That's your knot foundation." And he doesn't do that anymore. But it's like, or maybe he does, but he shapes it, you know. But not everybody
Mhm.
shapes it, so it's
Right.
like I don't know. There are some admittedly very well known makers who still like have that long cylindrical knot, and I'm like, come on, man, who's
Mhm.
that for? and
Yeah.
it's go on.
I was gonna say, yeah. That's how I would make mine for a while, and then I actually started just recently. Um, I'll take the more of the edges off and try and make more of the nice egg shape, rounder shape, or it might end up being more of a um, spherical roundness. And then I'll have to go snag it here to show it off on camera. I haven't posted any pictures of it yet, but I just finished a snake whip that I got them. I don't know what you would call it, but like the triangle style
Oh, okay.
shape to the end of it, and I really like how it feels in the hand.
I feel like I've accidentally hit that triangle shape a couple of times, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
more like a sort of rounded off like cone shape, you know. But it's like, yeah, I'm not quite a fan of that. And I know that even mine sometimes come out a little square at like the very edge of the heel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Paul maintains that it's mostly got to do with like how you tie the knot. That is like what type of knot you tie and its positioning on the foundation. Like if it's a little lower, or he would say higher, if it's more toward the handle, if you tie the knot more toward the handle on that foundation, you're going to get something more like that rounded off like cone shape. But if you tie it so that it really like encroaches over the heel cap, then
Mm-hmm.
it'll be like a little rounder over there, you know, and it just there's there's a lot to it, but it's like I one of my first falchions, I tied the knot accidentally a little too close to the handle, and it came out with that awkward like angular shape, you know. So I had to like
Mm-hmm.
redo that knot, and then it looked fine. Uh,
Yeah, and I grabbed it here, so I'll show it off real quick. But there's how she turned out, and
nice.
nice angle to it. But
What's most
that one,
comfortable varies depending on different style whips and diameter. That's so interesting. I will definitely want to Johnny and his comment. I'll definitely want to talk to him more about that later on, because it's like, because obviously each of us can only speak to our own handling experience, right? So it's
right.
obviously if he finds that it's more comfortable for him this way or that way, that's highly valid, and there are probably many other people who feel the same, you know. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
I've never quite gotten to the point where I feel like, oh yeah, I need this whip to have like this shape of knot. I just basically try to get all of them to roughly the same shape, you know, uh, because I think this shape is comfortable, but maybe that's not enough. Maybe that is another way that I need to uh, revamp my learning process, you know.
Yeah, that's very true.
Come on. Jeez. Oh man. Let me think. uh, so it's like I'll turn this again. Goodness. Okay.
And Alyssa, you've got a really good point there.
Preferential kind of like turn, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot into it. Like basically no part of this is universal, you know.
Right.
And yet, like maybe if none of the rest of us go through that effort of trying to like hone in on what shapes of knots feel better on what whips, maybe Johnny could use that as like a selling point for his shop. Just like, oh yeah, I've taken the time to like closely hone in on what will give you the most luxurious feel depending on the type of whip you get, you know. And it's like, well, that's solid. Like that, we should all be looking to like shine in our own ways and also complement each other's work, you know? And it's like,
Yeah, and
maybe that's one of the.
we're gonna close out again here in about 20 seconds.
Oh, okay.
We'll come back and do a little bit more, and then we'll probably call her a day. But see you guys in just a few minutes.
Freaking ads, swear to God.
Yeah, right after this break.
And that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Part 2 of this video of the stream replay will be out in a few days for you guys to watch. I did also promise you guys a surprise if you stuck around to the end of this video, and that would be this guy here. We're going to be doing our first whip giveaway. This is a 3-foot snake whip that I made over with Tory, hanging out at his house a few weeks ago. And we're going to be giving it away once we hit 100 subscribers. So you got to go down, you got to hit the like button, you got to hit subscribe. Once we hit 100, I'll put everybody's name in a hat, I'll spin it, and I'll pull out the winner, and we'll see who wins. And I'll be in contact with the winner after that. But we got to hit 100 subscribers first. So go down, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you really want to see more videos like this. It really gives me encouragement. And let me know in the comments what you think of the video. If you liked it, if you want to see more, or what you want to see more of. With this pandemic going on, there's a whole lot of time to film and stuff like that. So let me know. I'll see you guys in a few days when I upload part 2. See ya.